Hey guys, it's Pure Venom, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the LG G Watch R. I've been using this Android smartwatch for about 2 months, and I thought this would be a good amount of time for to do the review on this. This also allowed me to find the strengths and weaknesses on the LG hardware, and also find these strengths and weaknesses on the Google ecosystem we all call Android Wear. Now let's get to the review. The LG G Watch weighs roughly 62 grams or 2.19 ounces, and that is with its leather bands. So the thing is with its leather bands, they're genuine leather. They're 22 millimeters, and they feel great on your skin. And not only that, but they're very easy to clean. Since they are genuine leather, you can just take a little washcloth to them and clean them up. They don't absorb any of the sweat. I was kind of surprised on that. Normally, with a lot of the leather bands, they tend to do, and they tend to have some odor to them, but these ones do not. I used them for roughly about a week or two, and I did enjoy them, but I prefer the metal band look personally, so that's what I decided to go with. Also, when it comes to the build material of the actual watch itself, they are using stainless steel and aluminum. Now there are some scratches on the actual watch face, and that's just because I'm a little bit rough with my watch. As we all know, I work at Micro Center, but the thing is with using these premium materials, I don't have to really worry about the actual, frame itself wearing out. Just worrying about more of the screen. Now the screen they do use is a plastic display. The big thing is I threw a screen protector on it immediately as soon as I got it, and that is just due to the fact that I don't want to break that screen. Now, also what they did do to the device is that it is an IP67 rated device, so it is dust and water resistant. I have taken this into the water with me, where washing my hands primarily, and it has survived a hand washing multiple times, so that's not an issue there. The biggest thing is that if you start jumping into the pool or doing anything crazy like that, I can't guarantee that it's going to survive the water from a pool or you swimming around in it. I know it can survive from if you're taking a shower, but 9 times out of 10, how many people are taking a shower with their watch? Also, just so you all know, this is running the most current version of Android Wear. This is 1.4 or Android Marshmallow 6.0.1. So that it's going to be one of the nice things. So it does have a really good battery, also very good power management. And not only that, but it actually runs a lot smoother than the previous version that I had on here. Now, I do plan on getting Android Wear 2.0 on this. I just have to find a beta release for the LG G Watch R. I know the Huawei watch and the LG Urbane are the two currently that support Android Wear 2.0, the beta releases. So let's actually talk about the display here. The display is going to be using a very different technology than everybody else, so I commend LG on this. It's using their POLED display. All that is it's their paper OLED display. So the nice thing about it is that LG has taken their OLEDs from their TVs and packed it into this smartwatch. What means you get very vivid colors, very beautiful pictures. Things aren't blown out because the colors are very true. And also it has a very low power draw. With POLEDs, they're very low. I've only was looking at 0.01 to 0.02 for OLED displays, and that's going to be the standard for them. Now, the big thing is I don't know exactly how much power consumption that this screen does use, but once again, that's something where I can get in touch with LG and they can give me more information on. So if you guys do want, throw the comments down below and I'll try to get the information for you. Also, LG did go with the tried and true Qualcomm Snapdragon 400. Now, it is a little bit on the sluggisher side, but that could be because of Android Wear. So I'm not throwing the Snapdragon 400 underneath the bus, but I do have to say when I'm using custom launchers and things like that, like Wear Mini, it doesn't always want to pick up and doesn't always want to work. So I don't know exactly what's going on with that. It could be the app itself, it could be Android, or it could be the Snapdragon 400. But also, it does have 4 gigs of internal storage and a 512 gigs of RAM. 512 megabytes of RAM, not gigs. That'd be ridiculous. That's more than my computer. Sorry about that. Now, the way that this watch communicates is, of course, it's going to be through Visa Bluetooth. But this Android smartwatch has something different than a lot of the other ones during its time period. It does allow you to get notifications away from your phone with the built-in Wi-Fi. So the cool thing is that as long as your cell phone is on a cellular or Wi-Fi access, the watch here will actually be able to port all of the notifications from it to the actual watch itself. And the way that it does this is by going through the pairing process. When you're pairing your Android smartwatch up, the MAC addresses, they will read very similar. Pretty much all it's doing is it's calling for the MAC address of the phone, and as long as it can open the portal, it will receive all of the notifications. And I use this actually a lot, and it does work. It does work very well, if I can get that out of my mouth. And this is just due to the fact that I have the original Nexus, and we all know exactly how terrible the battery life is on this thing, on the original Nexus. So it's always connected up to a wall. But this does save my life because I am able to get all the notifications that I need very quickly, very fast. Also, with my job, since I do work at Micro Center, I am able to take a look and see what's going on, if somebody's trying to get a hold of me, or if there's an emergency going on, or if I have a customer that's, either emailing me. I can sometimes see it from my phone. Sometimes it does go to my phone, and it will go to the watch, just all depending on what I'm looking at. But let's go with some of the pros and cons of this guy. So the pros are the battery life is extremely good. Way better than any other Android watch that I've seen so far. On a heavy day of use, I can get about a day and a half to 2 full days. And that's that's great for an Android smartwatch. Big thing is that normally you get about half a day to a day, and that's just because these guys here, they're not as optimized for battery life, or you're running into smaller batteries. But LG did a great job when it came to the battery life on this guy. And with of course, the POLED display, it does help out in the battery department. Now, something I do have to let everybody know, the colors, the video won't do this justice at all, but the colors on this thing are absolutely gorgeous. It's great to be viewed outside, in direct sunlight. Now, yes, you do have to raise the brightness a little bit up, but you don't have to put it at full max brightness. Now, for video purposes, I put this at 6, just so you guys could see how the display looks and also some of the colors. But the big thing is I normally run it at level 1 or level 2 brightness. So that's something I do let everybody know. Don't run this at the max brightness, because all you're going to do is just drain more battery for nothing. I don't use the Android always on face for LG or any of the Android Wear watches that I have personally come into contact with. And the reason why is I just need to take a look at it. So if I just need to flip my wrist over, I can take a look at it. I don't need the display always running in the background. Also, the other nice thing about this guy is that it does use standard bands. Some of the other smartwatches do not use standard band formats, so you have to get custom ones that are made for it, what means they cost more. These guys here, you can get all the way from a metal band or to the very high-end genuine leather bands. But truthfully, the metal bands are more than enough for me. They can take all the abuse that I want to throw at them with no problem. And also, they're really easy to take on and off too, the metal bands, and that's just because they have little latches in the back there that help me out. But this watch does also have a heart rate sensor, so if I can actually get to that, that'd be awesome. It does have a heart rate sensor right there, and of course my thumb's in the way, and the watch band's in the way. Let me see. There we go. So you do get the heart rate sensor. It does work actually really well. I was kind of surprised. Now, the thing is that you do have to wear the watch like this to get a more accurate heart rate sensor than right here. So that's something that LG needs to fix. And of course, they fixed it in the Urbane series of smartwatches. But as you can see, if I can actually bring up the Fit app. Yeah. I already know how to do all this. Yes. Of course. This is what, there we go. Heart rate. Yes. So as you can see, it is trying to measure my heart rate at the moment. So we'll let this go for just a minute. And this is more of an orange color instead of a yellow. And as you can see, my heartbeats per minute is 85. Yeah, let me see if I can get that there. Oh, nope. Yeah, the color's too bright. So it's 85 beats per minute is what I have. So let me see if I can pull that up. There you go. So it's very accurate. My girlfriend's a nurse, and she actually comes up with the same number. So it's kind of cool that it actually works extremely well. Now, the only thing is that when you normally wear it like this, you don't get the same exact accurate results. So, but that's one of the other pros to this, because not all the Android smartwatches have the heart rate sensor. Now, some of the cons that I do have, Android Wear still has a long way to go from what I can see. This is just due to the fact that the OS has some minor quirks, and it's along with its Wi-Fi and gestures, and also the performance of the operating system. The big thing is that Android Wear, when it runs very smooth. And when it doesn't want to run properly, it will run very sluggish. And I think that's because of the Snapdragon 400. But it could also be the way that Android Wear has been coded. It's not as optimized. I know Android 2.0 is going to fix a lot of those issues, and that's going to be off of Nutella, or not Nutella, Nougat. My bad. Sorry, everybody. Nutella would have been a way better option. But that would have been for Nougat. The Wi-Fi issues, that's always been an issue with Android, and I do hope they fix that in the newest version of the Android Wear, and also on these phones themselves. And the gestures, they just don't seem to work most of the time. So if I go throw the watch on, the watch is going to work because of video purposes. So you're supposed to be able to roll up your cards, but for some odd reason, it just doesn't want to do that. And that's what drives me up a wall, because you pay money for a watch to do certain things, and it doesn't do that. But Android Wear is coming in the next few months, and I'm extremely excited for it, because they're showing performance gains and also better battery life. They're fixing some of the gestures and Wi-Fi problems. So that's the con that I do have for the Android Wear operating system itself. Now, one of the things where it does have a downfall is the screen itself, like I said originally in the review, that this guy does have a plastic display over top of it. It's not even glass. I don't know why LG didn't put glass displays into their OLEDs, but for some odd reason, that plastic display, it will scratch very easy. If you go to any of the forums on XDA or LG's site themselves, you will actually find a lot of people either scratching the display or easily breaking the display. And that is just due to the fact that plastic is not meant to be touched on all the time. It doesn't have a very satisfying feel to it. And also, it's very easy to crack these displays. Now, that's why I threw a screen protector on. Like I said earlier, the screen protectors are there to protect the screen. So as you can see, I can press on it pretty hard. They show that you can smash it with a hammer. I'm not in the mood to do that. So anybody who wants to do that definitely can send me a video on it if their watch decides not to work anymore. And the very last thing when it comes to the downfalls to the display. Now, paper OLED, or plastic OLED, I should say, does have the same issue that LG's OLED TVs still have. And that's with image burn-in. And I actually experienced this only once while owning this watch so far. And that's when I had it on my charger. Now I have a special stand that cradles it like this. And I ran the display at the highest brightness as you can get. Now this is a part of my fault too. I didn't pay attention that the smartwatch was just sitting there the whole time like this with its charging screen on. So when I decided to grab the smartwatch and I went to, my basic settings, I saw these ghosted effects of the charger and the charge wheel. And the biggest thing is that I was like, oh my God, I just ruined my watch. And after doing plenty of research and, looking into it, I did find that there was an app, and if I can find it here, it's called Stuck Pixel. And what this does is it actually just runs through a color gambit. So it just constantly re-rolls all the pixels into the RGB color. So it runs white, black, red, green, and blue. Those are the 5 colors that it does run. And the nice thing is that it actually fixed the display. I was kind of surprised. So if anybody does have any type of form of screen burn-in or things like that on Android Wear itself or on your watch, and if you're using the LG G Watch, run this. That should fix your problem. So, and because currently right now I don't have any issues with it at all. But as a strong recommendation, never run this thing at the maximum brightness. You will increase the chances of you having more screen burn-ins. If you are running at a lower brightness level, it reduces your chances of actually having an issue. But overall, with this watch, I do rate it an 8 out of 10, and that's just because it works extremely well, and I only had some minor complaints with it, and of course, that can be all fixed within software. So, but I love it. This is a great device, and I strongly recommend it to anybody. I got it on Swappa for about $150. The going rate on these guys, as you can see, was about $300. So that's one of the interesting things when it comes to these guys. If you can get them inexpensive, they're totally worth it. But you guys have a great one. I do hope you guys do enjoy the video. Also, I will be having some new videos coming out in the next week. But everybody enjoy. Have a great one. And of course, always like, subscribe, and rate because it does help me out.